This is V1 Infinity, and I'm your host, NEVE, and I have an amazing and special guest today. The Harlem legend himself, Capo, Jim Jones is in the building.
Oh man, thank you for that introduction. How you feeling, my brother?
Man, it's well deserved, brother.
Thank you.
Well deserved. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a hell of a weekend this weekend, but I'm feeling pretty good.
I know. As a matter of fact, let's start on that hell of a weekend, right? Apollo Theater.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, this amazing electric performance for Drake's 2 days at the Apollo.
Co-headliners.
Co-headliners. Let's make sure we clarify that, right? So, talk to me about the energy. Talk to me how electric it. I can only imagine, right? And tell me about that performance and those dates and how that felt for you and what that meant for Harlem.
Oh, that was dope. It was surreal. I mean, I tip my hat to Drake for the homage he has definitely paid to the diplomats, which is a great thing. I mean, when you win it, you never know how much you impact people's lives. You know what I mean? You don't get to see it from the outside looking in. So for him to do that at what he had in his career, it shows that he got a real heart. You know what I mean? Because once you get to a certain level of your career, it's hardly that do they give back or pay homage to those who may have helped them along the way, and whatever it was, whether it was just inspiration or whatever they're saying, he really gave it up. So, I tip my hat to Drake, I tip my hat to the whole OVO, shouts to my man Chubbs. Chubbs put the whole thing together. The energy inside the concert was incredible. We was in Harlem. The first time, listen, he made them move the seats out the park. I didn't even know you could take the seats out the park. Michael Jackson, James, everybody performed in there, and they took the seats out for Drake. Shout out to 21 Savage. It's a whole host of stars inside the crowd. It was just a warm feeling, and the concert was dope. And just to watching the show, different sets and shit like that, he's definitely the top tier. I don't think you could get any topper than him right now.
Absolutely, and that's one of those things. It's like the homage, right? He understands. Mm-hmm. He understood what that meant for Harlem.
Yes.
And for reaching out to you guys and making that happen. That was dope.
Super big, 100%.
That was super dope. Piggybacking on that, have you ever sat back and thought about Dipset, right, and everything you've accomplished? But thinking about it, if it was nowadays, if it was today, everything happened with all the social media stuff, have you ever thought about the impact that you guys, even though it was crazy with back then, but can you have you thought about it if it was today?
Yeah, but from what we've seen, it probably would have been magnified 10 times over.
I agree.
And on a whole nother level. But from where we was at, it still holds the same weight. But I know what you mean with all the social media, these iPhones, all the IGs, and yeah, it would have been a little bit different. We might have got ourselves in a lot more trouble, but it would have been a little bit different. So I'm glad that what we did would happen when it did happen.
Yeah, I know it would have been magnified to billion, right? Because the impact you guys had culturally and everything else, just how quick everything travels now through social media.
Yeah.
You guys, you have it on your IG, it's trendsetters, right? You guys set trends, and that's exactly what you guys did. Did you ever look back on that, just like what you guys accomplished? Does that ever hit you?
Every now and then it hits you, especially when you bump into somebody who reminds you of something or tells you what you did for them in life, or brings up a bit of the history and things like that, and you go back damn, we definitely been putting on for a long time, and we definitely been putting on for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit. Definitely at a high capacity too.
So if you, I guess now, looking back and sitting to the man that you are today, do you ever look back and think about anything you probably would have done differently?
I don't think I think about anything I would have done differently. I got no regrets in life. Everything I did got me here today. There's a few things that I've done that I'm not proud of. Some things you probably think, maybe I should have did that, but it's all part of the story. So I welcome everything.
Absolutely. On top of being an artist, you worn so many hats and still wear them. Artist, executive, entrepreneur, businessman, however you want to put it. And I don't think a lot of people, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but the credit as well as kind of being one of the pioneers of connecting reality TV and hip hop, the hip hop culture to some extent, right? Because Puff had the whole making the band thing, right?
Yeah.
We remember that. But what you guys did surface-wise for the culture.
We put a whole different thing when it came to reality TV. We probably pretty much coined urban reality TV in that the whole Kardashian vein and things like that. We set that out. That was us. That was me and my wife wholeheartedly. Nobody else put nothing on it. That was our idea, our synopsis, everything. It turned to be very successful. So I tip my hat to everybody. I hardly get any thank yous from anybody that did any form of love of hip hop. I'm your dad, Musa.
Well, we making it clear. We saying that right now. We paying homage. That's what.
It's good. It's good. I'm just joking.
The truth is the truth on that. So, but here's another question based on that. Like with the reality TV, how the whole transition to like knowing that at that moment you're gonna have to let people in. You know what I mean? Like into your personal life, into some things. Like how did that?
Well, you gotta remember, I'm the one that probably coined the whole DVD and content base. Like even from Smack Magazine, I pretty much was the person that showed people more content of my life than anybody else in hip hop at that time, especially with the Day in the Fast Life DVD that I put out. Like I've shown people glimpses of my life. You know what I mean? So it was a natural progression, something else that I could do. I knew what I wanted to be seen. I knew how powerful TV was. TV is just the difference between a basketball player and a football player. Everybody know who these basketball players are. You heard? A football player, you don't know who he is because he got a helmet on. That's like radio. You heard? But TV is like basketball because everybody know who you are, and I knew the power in that and things like that. I didn't need a record for the power of that. I didn't need anything. I mean, the power of notoriety is bigger than anything, and it goes to show you that my woman became just as famous as me in a quarter of the time that it took for me to become Jim Jones. You know what I mean? So that's how powerful television is, and I knew that. And a lot of people was looking at me like it was some type of taboo or, yo, you bugging out. And then all these rappers was cursing at me and shit like that. And then all these rappers, the same rappers that was cursing me, have done reality TV. Yeah. You heard? And nobody says sorry, motherfuckers.
So, jumping on that, let me ask you a question back into like the music aspect of it, right? Is there any project that you've worked on, like in your opinion, where you feel like damn, like it didn't get the attention, or maybe the more underrated projects that you've worked on personally or collaborative, whatever, however you want to put it?
There's a few projects like that. Like I know Pray for Rain was a very big album for me, and at that time I was going through a whole little bit of a blackball moment with the industry. They was trying to, doing their best to box me out, but I know how to play basketball.
But wait, I'm gonna cut you off quick because it's so funny. And Jasmine knows. I told her, I was like, I need to ask Jim this question because my favorite album of yours, and I can show you on this cue card, Pray for Rain.
Yeah, that's a great album.
And I always, every time I listen to that album, I always knew like, you could feel your pain. You could feel like there was something you were going through something, right? You can also tell that through the production you chose, like it was all heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? So I always appreciated that body of work, and I was always trying to put people on. So I hope that people will, like, even now, go back and listen to some of that stuff.
That's a special album.
Yeah, some of your best work.
Special album. There was a lot of different variables. That was one of the ways for me to actually get off Sony without me owing them money. Like, it was a lot of different things going on at that time. But yeah, Pray for Rain is definitely one of the albums I felt I got cheated out on. And I got another album called El Capo, but it got great praise and things like that. So I don't know if I felt like I didn't get what I deserved. I just felt like it should have been, but who am I? You heard? It got what it got, and I'm happy. I'm gonna keep pushing. I have some new music I'm about to drop that's gonna bust their head. You heard? So I ain't tripping.
Absolutely. Jumping into something a little bit different, and like let's talk a little bit about like Latin representation. And you've always been big on that. Obviously, it runs through your blood. You also see what you guys did at the beginning when you guys, Juelz, you guys also had a talent, right? J.R. Ryder back in those days. Like, was that stuff where, like, was that purposely done where you guys are like, we need to also shine light on this? Or was it just like on some, like, it's just the homies who were there and we all just rapped and we always kicked it and this is just what it ended up happening?
I mean, for the cultural aspect, we always want to shine a light on who we are. You know what I mean? And a lot of us were mixed Black, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Black, Dominican, Puerto Rican, and things like that. So it's part of who we are. So naturally, there's a bit of you that's going to always shine a light on that. And that's what it was. But now recently, I've definitely embraced the Spanish music a lot more, where I'm in the midst of finishing up my own Spanish album called Broken Spanglish, and I got a bunch of dope artists on there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to dropping that. Yeah, shout out to Belovas, Doe Montana, Shello Shack, Eladio, shout out to Archangel. I'm about to go to Puerto Rico, go check him out. He's supposed to finish a record up for me. So I got some fire on there. And I mean everything, Dembo, you name it, trap, Spanglish drill.
You got some Dembo coming up in there?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
I got a Dembo record out right now that's on the radio. They play it every day on Hot 97.
That's dope. That's dope. Still piggybacking on that, you also collaborated on Arcángel's album, right? You mentioned giving him a shout out on Sing Scotty. Yeah, so collaborated on that. And I was out in Vegas for Latin Grammys, and he was getting interviewed by my boy Guru. Shout out to Guru, Rapetón. And Arcángel actually was talking about the collaboration, and he spoke so highly of you, and he said how important that collaboration was, and what you meant to the culture and to him and to everything that was going on. So, like, how was that collaboration for you? How did that come about? And
well, that was dope. I mean, well, they sent me the record that did it, and then he actually, when he flew to New York, the studio that I recorded out of to do my Spanish album, Flock Studios, he met me over there. And we was in there for about 8 hours just chopping. We didn't even listen to the record too much. We just was up in there 8 hours just chopping it up about life, all type of shit. You get to learn so much about him. Like, he grew up in New York, moved to PR, the whole DR story with the PR. Like, it's just dope, man. I got a lot of respect for Archangel, and I understand his position in the game from the Spanish side of who he is and how much weight he holds and what he means to the people and shit like that. You know what I mean? So we kind of synonymous. Like, we kind of a bit of the same person. Like, we reflect a lot of our same reflections. You know what I mean? Like, so I had nothing but respect for Art. That's my guy right there.
That's dope. That's dope. So I'm looking forward to hearing that, some more stuff like that.
No, my album is dope. Broken Spanglish, I've figured out a real unique way how to make Spanish music that people are going to understand and both enjoy. You know what I mean? That's
dope. Let me ask you a question. This might be a little bit off the record, right? A little bit off cue here, but I saw Fab at Neo's album release party.
Okay.
When Fab came on stage, I thought it was Busta Rhymes how broadly he would. Do you take any credit for that? Because I know I've seen the videos of, like, you taking him to the gym and with Mano and things like that, and you're so big in fitness. Like, can you take the credit for that with, like?
I mean,
like
if I could, if I was a selfish person, yeah, but like I'm so but no, it was a group effort. Like, it was something we set out to do, and support is better than anything. And along with me showing him some things that he didn't know about fitness, the support was just as important as training them and training them, even with Dave East and even with Mano and things like that. You know what I mean? So the support of each other for this past year has came out with what you see today at Fab and things like that, you know what I mean? So we was in the gym yesterday too and shit like that. So Fab is on it and shit like that. And then what you saying he's starting to see, you can see the results. And when you see the results, you want more results. So that's where he at right now.
Yeah, shout out to Fab, shout out to Lenny S, my boy. Appreciate y'all. So let's jump into something real quick. Like, you're a very passionate individual. Sometimes easily misunderstood, right?
Yes.
So, but you can tell, very passionate, loyal individual. So how do you, and maybe you could also serve as some advice for people coming up within this industry, like, how do you navigate through some of the stuff that this industry brings to individuals who are passionate and you know, can be misunderstood?
I've learned, trying to learn patience. Like, even today, I'm going through some shit that made me react in a manner that I haven't been reacting in a long time. And a lot of that is God giving me tests that He know that He want me to pass, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of learning that, like, a lot of the times and situations, even though I'm passionate and I may be right, sometimes the way that I approach the situation is wrong, and that kind of fucks up anything that I was trying to do because of my passion and how I attach emotionally and shit like that. So, but I've been learning a lot about how to deal with that, and this game will put a lot of that in front of you and shit like that, where they want you to crash out or jump off the roof or some shit like that. And they caught me a couple times jumping off the roof, and I refused to jump off again.
Absolutely, that's good, that's good. So 2023, what can we expect? I know that you just came off of a meeting with Mayor Adams.
Shouts to the mayor.
Huge initiatives and things that you're trying to get done, and visions and projects. Can you elaborate maybe a little bit on that meeting? And like I told you even before we started, I appreciated the fact that you posted the whole thing with Mayor Adams, right? Because it's putting it out there like, hey, I requested a meeting with you. I'm telling you I want to help. I want to be in the community, and you're the one that I need to talk to. And he made it happen, right?
Yes,
so
he definitely made it happen.
So can you elaborate a little bit on some of the conversations, some of the plans, and obviously what can we expect this year and all the plans that you got?
First of all, the initiatives is about the kids in the community. That's always been my initiative. And when I got a chance to meet the mayor, you know, he's the mayor, so a lot of people get caught up in he's the mayor and picture opportunity and all that. I wanted to make sure that what I was doing was more substantial than just me just getting a picture with the mayor for that experience, because I'm in a position that I can help people in my community and things like that. So I'm like, shit, I gotta put something out there that could translate into building a relationship, hopefully with the mayor, and he can see how we can come together and help New York from my aesthetic, you know what I mean? From how I see it and things like that. And he set up a meeting. The meeting was supposed to actually be like in February. Today I actually got a text this morning from him. He like, yo, you can meet me in Harlem in the afternoon? Shit, yeah. You heard? Yeah. Hell yeah. That's why you always gotta stay ready, so you ain't gotta be ready. Or you ain't gotta get ready, you know what I mean? And the meeting was dope about the initiative of dance. I got a nice dance initiative going on in Harlem. My brother-in-law, he has a dance studio, Go Hard Dance Studio, where they been teaching these kids dance, and it's a great way to get them off the streets and instilling, you know, all that good shit in them, and teaching these kids about life and how to carry themselves along with dance. So it was a great way to do things for the community, and I've based a lot of things about the community that I do there, from Easter, turkey giveaways, Christmas giveaways, and all that, and things like that. So he actually came by to check out the spot. We got to talk about different things we were doing with dance, dance tournament we were about to start, and all that type of things. You know, he was very helpful as far as offering me different things that he had that could help our situations inside of the city and things like that, which is very dope. I mean, hey, everybody has their own opinion about everybody and things like that, but we gotta respect people who are in them places of power. We gotta figure out how we can work with them, no matter how you feel about them, no matter how you feel what they should be doing. If we can get something out of that that can help us out, then he's doing his job in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You dig? So it's like that shit. We had plenty of mayors that didn't do shit. And it's kind of tricky to hold people accountable in that. You know what I mean? So it's like, shit, we gotta work with them and things like that. And for what it's worth, I haven't seen anything. He kept his word with me, you know what I mean? And from the few phone calls I got, he's keeping his word, and we're gonna run it down the line. And if I can help my city of Harlem out and help the city out, I'm gonna keep doing it, you know what I mean? Like,
shout out to Mayor Adams on that, that's for sure.
Shout out to Mayor Adams, and it's just me by myself. I can't do it by myself. It's each one teach one. There's more people like me of influence that need to step up for their community and use their influence like I'm trying to do, you know what I mean? And then we'll be heard that much more, you dig? But nothing's gonna fix itself overnight, you heard? But every step is a step forward to correcting our wrong. So that's where I'm at with it and shit like that. If I could take one step and then somebody else could take the next step, then shit, we working together. But somebody got to do it.
Absolutely. I hope. I can't wait to kind of see what that entails and what that becomes and the impact it's gonna leave. And I guess just to close things out, what do you want your legacy to be? If it's music, obviously you're going into and like really impacting the community in Harlem and doing those things like that. So what is it that you want Jim Jones' legacy to be?
I just want them to know that he gave more than he took.
Dope. Dope. Appreciate you, brother. God bless you.